Alright, it's May 10th and it's 10:53 a.m. and I'm doing this video again just because I don't know exactly what to do. I think I have a different view of the screen than it actually goes wider when I publish it, but anyhow, I just like to put different things in, just for fun. Just to kind of distinguish one video from the next. This was originally, I was going to put this on my car. I had this floppy dragon that I put on my car many years ago. It was really funny. It's kind of stood more upright, and its arms or front legs would dangle in the wind. It was pretty hilarious, and until some big dummy decided to be funny and hit it, not understanding that it could withstand some strong winds, but it couldn't withstand the pressure of a big fat dummy hitting it. And I'm doing the best I can to talk right now. I didn't sleep last night. The last thing I want to do is just be really goddamn boring, but I just feel it's really important for me to relate my experience right now. If anything, this is just going to be practice for later. I can look at it that way. But I hardly got any sleep last night. I started looking into some videos last night about frequency and frequency attacks, and these are things that I've been aware of for a while. I haven't really considered it too strongly. I started thinking about frequencies a lot last month in April, and how my music, I'm kind of viewing it in the light of it being kind of like this war of frequency. Like, we have good frequencies and bad frequencies, and even the chemtrails. I mean, I can just look at the window, the skylight, and I can see the light that's coming in through the skylight right now is just pure crap. I mean, there's some people out there that are talking about chemtrails having chemicals in them which are poisoning the population, and that might be right, it might be wrong. I'm a pretty lazy researcher, in that if I don't find something that seems credible and true, and if I don't get a good vibe from the source pretty quickly, I'm just going to stop researching it, because what the hell difference is it going to make anyhow? So I find out that there are actually chemicals from this source. I might find later that might not be so true, or I might just forget it and never think about it again anyhow. What we do see with chemtrails, in which I've talked about a little while ago, is that the light that it produces is pure crap, and that is a frequency phenomenon. It's a light phenomenon. It has to do with light and sound. Obviously, we are greatly affected by light and sound. If you want to improve the ambience of a room, the quickest thing you can do to improve it is to mess with the lights. I'm very picky about how I keep the blinds. I like the blinds to be kind of like at an angle pointed downwards, so I'm looking at them like this, because I recognize that if it hits the top and bounces in, it's not as soft as another angle. So I am picky about light. So in regards to chemtrails and all that, I see the idea of frequency having more validity than anything. With regards to poison, if they want to poison us, they can easily do that through food and water and all the drugs that they have people on. Frequency, I think, is where this battle really is raging. I did watch a few videos last night, not too much. Again, I'm somewhat picky about the source. If I don't get a good vibe from the source, I just don't want to watch it, because then I'm just starting to absorb their shit, and I don't want to be doing that. It's hard enough being here, let alone absorbing somebody else's foul crap that they put up on YouTube. Here's a commercial. I got this massager right here. Speaking of frequency, it's not the best thing in the world, but it helps relax me a tiny bit. But I don't like to make assertions about things that I'm not too confident about. So if I am being attacked by frequency, which might be the case, I like to do things like I like to put this shungite pendant on, or whatever it is. I'm thinking about some other kinds of forms of protection for the house. I have black tourmaline stones throughout the house as well. We sage every so often. But all of these things are just adjustments that we make, and they're not necessarily going to solve the problem. So you can maybe improve things for yourself a little bit by taking certain steps to protect your body and the house from these different kinds of EMFs and stuff. But this right here, this is just helping me adjust to an unnatural condition. You're looking at me in this condition, in this kitchen rather, in this body, and it might seem kind of normal to you, but there's nothing normal about this human condition whatsoever. It is an absolute atrocity. Stalin said that one death is a tragedy, a million deaths is a statistic, and that's as sadistic as he was, as much of a tool of Satan as he was right in that statement. In that when something becomes so widespread as such that it becomes normal, it just becomes accepted. When it does hit home, it's not just a theoretical problem anymore. We have cancer rates, I think they're, 1 in 3 people are going to get cancer now, so that's just like a normal fact that we just tolerate that. But with regards to frequency attack, if I'm being attacked by a frequency, or if I'm just super sensitive to frequencies, which is another thing, and as long as they can keep people really confused about what's going on here, the powers that be are pretty much okay. If we can't agree on anything, we have different explanations for everything, then they've pretty much got us where they want us. So obviously there are people that are just super sensitive to EMF fields and they can't tolerate so-called normal EMF fields. But the main point that I want to drive home, I don't know if I made any point whatsoever. I'm just doing my best to talk because I'm so overloaded. My nervous system is just really completely exhausted and just totally fried right now. The main point I want to make is that whatever our story is about reality, say chemtrails, whatever the hell they are, at the minimum what we need to see is that the human condition as a whole is intolerable. And so whatever disease you might have, or one of your loved ones might have, whatever condition they might have, I don't really care so much about what name we call it. The important thing is just to see that it's absolutely intolerable. It's absolutely unacceptable for you to be experiencing intolerable pain, or for you to experience your loved one going through intolerable pain. Absolutely unacceptable. Absolutely intolerable. And this is what I'm going to refer to over and over again as toes in the ground. That we need to have a firm grasp, understanding, felt sensation that the reality that we're living in right now is completely intolerable. It's unacceptable. And however good it is in your little neck of the woods, someone somewhere just now hurt themselves pretty bad in this world. 7.3 billion people. Lion just probably attacked a zebra somewhere. Some other animals are being slaughtered right now. However good it is for you in this moment, it's an atrocity somewhere. And that's one thing that the mind of God, the mind of a true soul understands, that if one being is in extreme distress anywhere, that this world would theoretically stop and rush to that person's aid. Yet, because it's so normal for people to be getting hurt and experience personal tragedy all the time, we don't do anything about it. It's just, what the hell are we going to do? And my own personal experience with my energy levels just completely crashing, caving in, due largely, I think, to frequency. You know, I continue to do my protocol with the Lyme disease, but I don't think that's it. I just don't think it is. I think I'm dealing more with a frequential phenomenon here. I wish I could make more sense. I wish I could connect one thought to the other a little bit better than I am. I'm forgetting what I'm talking about. As I'm talking, I'm a little self-conscious about just babbling, but the need for self-expression is strong enough. Oh, okay. That was the point that I wanted to make. So whatever condition, disease, or disorder that we have, or one of our loved ones has, it doesn't matter to me what it is. If it's Lyme disease that I'm experiencing, okay. If it's unhealed emotional trauma, then I'm pretty much fucked because I've done enough. Did this thing just break? Oh no, okay. Turn it off by accident. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter to me. It's an atrocity. It's a tragedy for you to be experiencing pain that you cannot heal, that you cannot solve. I know I've made really, really great efforts. Yesterday I made some Herculean efforts to just get things done, and I crashed. I just couldn't do anything anymore. I have a guitar thing that I want to record, and I just couldn't do it. It's taking me forever just to get this one thing done because my energy levels are just shit. So, whatever kind of distress we're experiencing here, whatever disease, whatever condition it is, it's intolerable. The human condition as a whole is intolerable. And it needs to be healed holistically, as a whole. So again, toes in the ground, it's a firm understanding of that the human condition as a whole is completely intolerable. And with regards to what I was talking about earlier about not wanting to watch too many videos, especially if they had sort of like a dark kind of vibe about them, we don't want to spend any more time looking at our toes. Our toes are in the ground, we feel them in the ground, we're connected to the ground, that's enough. We need to get this experience well enough to know that it is an intolerable atrocity that's going on here. Every moment, it's an intolerable atrocity. So we get that in our cells, in our organs, in our heart, in our mind, deeply enough, and now our toes are firmly in the ground. And then what we got to do is we got to focus on our fingers. You don't walk around looking at your feet. You look at where you want to go. And that's what I'm saying. Fingers in the sky, that's our manipulation of reality. It's our vision. It's how we want to mold things. It's how we want to create. And that's where we need to keep our focus as much as possible. So whatever dark scenarios are at play here, and play is kind of a crappy word to use for it, are in operation here, the solution remains the same. The solution recognizes the fact that the division between you and me is the fundamental problem. And only through healing that division can we actually solve the fundamental problem. So that's fingers in the sky right there. Seeing that we need to unite. And I've talked about this before, and I don't care how often I have to talk about this. Meaningful connection, true, soulful, authentic connection is what's required. There's a 4-week process to go through that I've created because I understand that just you deciding to go out and do something different today is not going to be enough. Whatever little decisions you make, these what I call minor solutions, are not going to cut it. There has to be an organized action plan, and it has to take off pretty fast. The sparks have to unite and get together, and I'm about to hit 15 minutes. I don't want to go over.